So a couple months ago, Nissan was kind enough to invite me up to their technical center just outside of Detroit, Michigan to test drive the all-new Murano as well as their Armada SUVs within their lineup. And while I was up there, I voiced my interest in driving the 2025 Nissan Frontier, given this is one of the last midsize trucks I have next to no experience with. So this week, Nissan was kind enough to hook me up, send me the SL long bed 4x4 variant of the Frontier to spend some time with, get my overall impressions of this particular truck. Make sure you guys stay tuned here on the channel for my comprehensive driving review, as well as my dedicated likes and dislikes and future content just in the midsize truck category in general. But anyways, in today's video, I simply want to do a quick walk around tour of this SL long bed 4x4 behind me, given this truck is nearly fully loaded for the 2025 model year, show you everything that it has to offer for its features, options, and things like that. And it is finished in this beautiful blue exterior on this beautiful spring day. So without further ado, let's not waste time. See what the 2025 Nissan Frontier SL has to offer for just over $47,000. So take a look at the Frontier in front of us. This one's finished in the beautiful Bayside Blue Pearl exterior with the charcoal leather interior. Now, once again, this is an SL trim level, which is the most fully loaded, fully equipped Frontier that they currently offered within their lineup. Now, it does come in at a very similar price tag to that of the Pro 4X off-road oriented model. So it's kind of pick your poison in terms of whether you need a little bit of off-road capability with some of those mechanical hardware upgrades, or if you like a little bit more luxurious truck with all of the features and options, the SL 4x4 is certainly going to be a good fit for you. Now, this current generation did debut for the 2022 model year with the same 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 and 9-speed torque converted automatic, which was debuted in the previous generation for the 2020 model year. And for 2025, they did do a small mid-cycle refresh, change out the infotainment system to a 12.3 inch with wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, make some minor revisions to packaging. The front fascia here got a little bit different to match some of their other newer products within their lineup, but overall is still largely similar to that of the 2022 and later trucks. So take a look at the front end. You will find full LED lighting on this particular trim with the LED running lights and turn signals in this portion, LED reflector headlights with LED reflector high beams, and then down below you will find LED projector fog lights, which is a nice addition for a little bit of additional forward lighting. Now, I really like the kind of medium gray metallic front grille next to this Bayside blue. I think it contrasts very nicely. You will have the white Nissan badging with the 360 around view camera system. Great to see that as a feature. And then down below you will find the radars for some of the adaptive cruise control and other driver assist technologies. One thing I do want to point out is this does have the front recovery points finished in the black down below, and there is going to be a front skid plate that comes on the SL trucks as standard. Not exactly sure where it is located here. I believe it's just a little bit farther back than that plastic trim right there, but it is listed on the window sticker as standard on this particular truck. So coming around to the side profile, this is where it gets a little bit interesting because yes, this is the long wheelbase 6-foot bed with the, of course, crew cab configuration. So the longest configuration that you can currently get in the Frontier. And, you know, it does look a little bit odd in its proportions, but I do love the fact that they changed it and made the 6-foot bed available across the entire trim lineup for the 2025 model year. Now, coming to the wheel and tire setup, this is going to be a 17-inch machined and gunmetal gray alloy wheel wrapped in a 265/65 17-inch Michelin. Looks like it's going to be a Primacy LTX all-season tire, so more of an all-season road-going option. Of course, the Pro 4X will come with a nice all-terrain for an upgrade, again, in its capability. Body color mirror caps, no LED turn signal integration, but you do have the cameras for that 360 camera system. Mirrors are going to be heated. Do have blind spot detection, of course. Regular proximity entry on both of the two front door handles. And there, once again, is a look at the side profile. I like the fact that it's all body color, doesn't have any plastic wheel flares going on. Just gives it a slightly more clean look, in my opinion. And then up top, you have a black shark fin antenna, and then the power sunroof, again, is standard on this exact trim level. Now, coming out back, the LED lighting will continue on for the tail lamps, turn signals, and reverse lights, all located in this housing right here. It is a red LED turn signal. For those that might be wondering if it's amber or red, it is in fact the red color. And then the bumper is going to be finished in partially body color on the outside with the black plastic in the middle. You do have the rear parking sensors with the trailering package as standard. So you have the 4-pin and 7-pin connections just up here. Frontier stamped into the tailgate. You have the nice newer Nissan logo again with that gray and white accent. Backup camera, here's the little lock cylinder for the tailgate, and this is an easy lift lower in design. SL 4x4 badging, also in gray on the passenger side. And then that is going to be pretty much a look here at the exterior. We will touch on the bed features and things like that just in a couple minutes. So let me know what you guys think of the exterior design language of the Frontier. I really like this newest generation, although I probably wouldn't option the 6-foot bed if I were to purchase one of these trucks for myself. But let's go ahead and take a look at the window sticker so you guys know exactly how this one is equipped before jumping onto the interior. So take a look at the window sticker. The SL pretty much comes fully loaded with everything that the Frontier has to offer. Now, of course, there are additional accessories you can equip on this truck, such as decals, exhaust tips. There's even a bed rack, lighting, things like that you can include for additional money, but most of the core features and options are included as standard. Now, you do have the 2-speed transfer case with 4 high, 4 low, the active brake limited slip differential, so not a mechanical, but instead uses the brakes at the back of the vehicle to act like a limited slip. You have the leather interior with heated front seats, heated steering wheel, the round view monitor system, the new 12.3-inch infotainment with wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, and 10-speaker Fender premium audio system, among a host of other things. Now, this one does have the premium paint as well as the carpeted floor mats, which brings the total MSRP, including destination, to $47,750. So take a look on the interior. As I mentioned, this one is the charcoal black leather interior, which contrasts very nicely against the Bayside blue. Starting out here on the door pane, you're gonna find a mix of soft touch and hard touch materials, just like that of most other midsize trucks in this segment. Up top, this is gonna be hard touch plastic with this section right here on the door handle and the armrest in a nice leather material. No real accent stitching, which doesn't give it a lot of contrast, which would be a little bit of a more premium touch, with a good amount of lower door storage with a massive bottle holder. Chrome accent door handle pull. You do have power windows, mirrors, and locks, with just the driver's side window being fully automatic. And then, of course, you do have that Fender 10-speaker premium audio system, which actually does sound pretty darn good. Coming to the driver's seat, this is going to be a 6-way power driver's seat, which is a little bit disappointing, honestly, in the adjustments and some of the features that other midsize trucks offer, but it does add the 2-way power lumbar. And then there is going to be the black leather, wider accent stitching with a little bit of maybe a faux carbon fiber on the outside, and then a little bit of a nicer pattern up here on the backrest portion. And then there is going to be a look at this slightly revised dashboard. So here in the interior of the Nissan Frontier, you're going to find a good amount of old school design language with a bit of updated technology, including the infotainment system that they did add for 2025. So in front of the driver, you're going to find analog gauges on the left and right with a 7-inch digital display that is controlled here on the left side of the steering wheel in the center. Now, I will say, despite this being a little bit smaller, digital display in general, it does include and provide a lot of helpful, useful information. So of course, you have your odometer, gear selection, transfer case setting at the bottom. You have some of the fuel range, driver assistance at the top, and then you can see I have the current speed set as digital in the middle, but you can toggle between a ton of different pages, including off-road, auxiliary gauges, your current driving, trip information. All of that can be set here, which is just a lot of information, which I do applaud Nissan for kind of cramming this in, or being fairly efficient in how they've laid out the digital cluster. Now, coming back to steering wheel, this is going to be a leather wrap steering wheel, black matching stitching, heated, of course, on the SL, with your audio multimedia, voice assistance, and that cluster control on the left side. On the right side, you have your cruise control with the adaptive distance setting and all of those buttons to control that. Automatic headlights with fog lights on the left side, regular intermittent wipers on the right. To the left of the steering wheel, we have your dedicated tow haul mode, gauge dimming, trip information reset. We have your safety systems, sound button, so you can turn it or mute it on and off right there. The 120 volt outlet on off switch for the bed and interior cab outlets just to the right of that. Cargo lamp, hill descent control, and then traction control way down there at the very bottom. And this is going to be a manually tilt telescopic steering wheel, again, as standard for 2025. Now, taking a look up on the dash, no heads-up display or LED driver assistance technology on the dash, but you do have a nice cubby up here for a little bit of additional storage. And then coming over here to the infotainment system, this is going to be that new 12.3-inch screen with wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Actually very nice, high resolution in display. You can see I have currently Android Auto running, but if we go back to the home screen, this is what the Nissan actual UI looks like, which it is kind of a love it or hate it type of thing. This does match a lot of the newer products quite well. And, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world to navigate. A lot of the tiles are self-explanatory here, and I really don't have any complaints in its overall performance, and it's a nice, you know, high resolution color display. Now, speaking of those camera systems, we can go ahead and put the truck in reverse there and see them displayed on this screen. Now, unfortunately, they're still using some of the lower resolution cameras, so this is definitely not going to be the highest resolution picture, but at least it is a 360 camera system, only takes up part of the screen, as you can see right there, and does have those rear ultrasonic backup sensors included. Nice amount of hard touch buttons, including volume, tune knob, hazard lights, all those multimedia navigation buttons down there. And then just in case you forgot you're in a Nissan Frontier, they do have the Frontier badging large front and center just below all of that. 2-speed transfer case here just to the right of the push button start. We have the automatic engine stop start button also located in this vicinity. Dual zone automatic climate control with a separate heated mirrors and heated or defroster function, so you can turn those on separately, which is, you know, not often or common these days. Most of the time they're lumped together, but interesting choice there. We have retained switches for the heated front seats, so you can put them on low or high, and they will retain between ignition cycles, which is awesome. Heated steering wheel, rear parking sensors on off, USB-C and USB-A data inputs, a good amount of storage just below all of those command or controls right there. And we do have the shifter for the 9-speed automatic transmission. 2 large, good-sized cup holders. You can see those are very easy to access, all in this open space right there. Here's the proximity key fob with built-in remote start, as well as a physical key in case you need to use that for the tailgate or some of the doors. And we have a nice large wireless charging pad just behind the cup holders, all in the center console. This is going to be soft touch just like that of the door panels. Inside you won't find really anything but a little bit of additional storage space. And then taking a look up top, we do have a lighter gray headliner. There's the vanity illumination, excuse me, no vanity illumination, so just a visor that does slide here a little bit to the left and right. Auto dimming interior rearview mirror with garage home link. Overhead sunglasses holder, which I believe is standard for every trim on 2025. Overhead LED lighting, nice to see that. And then here's going to be the power sunroof controls with your emergency SOS functions in case you need to press that for any reason. And there's going to be a look at the sunroof. It does go ahead and slide back. Opens a decent amount. It is a little bit on the smaller side, but you can go ahead and push it a second time. We'll retract a little bit further with the manual sunshade, which of course you can close for a little bit of additional sound deadening, or, you know, to stop the light from coming into the cabin. So that is going to be a look here at the front seat of the Nissan Frontier. Let's go ahead and see what you get out back. So taking a look at the second row of the Nissan Frontier, most of the materials actually will fall through from the front, which is always great to see. So here on the door panel, this is going to be all soft touch along with the armrest, and you have a very similar amount of large door storage, including that massive bottle holder, which might be good for, you know, not only those bottles, larger tumblers you might have, but additional items that you might want to store just in the doors themselves. Seating surfaces, once again, same as the front with that carbon fiber S trim on the outside and the nicer pattern in the backrest portion. Stepping inside is actually reasonably easy, although I do have to duck my head given my, you know, spinal fusion and the way the door frame and seat position are set. We have a nice large grab handle on both the left and right, and there is going to be a look at the dashboard. Take a look out back. Unfortunately, we don't appear to have any rear AC vents in the upper console or on the B pillars, but we do have USB-A and USB-C charging, 120 volt, 400 watt outlet that is shared power-wise between the one and the bed. And then you do have a mat pocket on only the passenger side of the seat. Center armrest will be found in this truck with 2 additional, again, large cup holders. Awesome to see all that. Overhead LED lighting just behind the front seats. Don't believe these headrests actually fold down, so I think they're fixed in place. But you do have a manual sliding rear window. Again, I think they made this standard across every single trim for 2025, and then this does have 3 passenger configurations. Now, one thing I will say about the interior space here on the Frontier is the seat back is extremely upright. So not really the most comfortable seating position, but I do like the padding and the seat materials. Headroom, I would say I have about an inch, maybe an inch and a half of headroom. And legroom behind my driving position, I have probably 2 inches or so. So really competitive with a lot of the other midsize trucks in this space, but I would say maybe just because the seat back is a little bit more upright than I recall. In some of the other trucks, not ideally comfortable, but again, I think it's not too far off of a lot of trucks in this segment. But the seat backs themselves do actually fold down via these little pull tabs. You can see they lift up a little latch right there, and you can get to the roadside toolkit and the roadside jack. Just beneath the 60/40 split folding design, we do have child anchors for car seats. Now coming out to the bed space, this is probably one of the aspects you guys are most curious about. It does have that damped tailgate, which is always nice, kind of a must-have feature in my opinion on trucks. And this one does come standard with the spray-in bed liner, again with the 120 volt 400 watt outlet on the passenger side. Now you can also see it has the track rail system, which is an aluminum rail on all three sides of the bed that you can actually move these hooks around, tie down different objects, or create different tie down points for stuff you may actually want to haul inside of the bed. And there are going to be fixed in place hooks on looks like all four corners. So we have one here, one in the front, one on that side, and then one finally on this side. And there is going to be LED bed lighting back here also, which you can see hidden just onto the left side. And then there's one going to be on the front right. So kind of diagonal corners. And then we do, of course, have the lighting above the sliding rear window. So in terms of bed space, I believe this is like 6 foot and a couple inches in terms of length. Very similar depths to a lot of the other trucks, around 18, 19 inches tall, and does provide a good amount of actual cargo hauling capability and functionality if you actually do want to use a truck for what it's designed to do. Now coming to the passenger seat, of course, materials and all that are going to be identical to the driver's side. We do actually have a 4-way manual passenger seat, no height adjustment, no lumbar, just slide and then recline with the seat back. And then there is going to be a look at the dashboard, which you can see does have that black soft touch with the nicer, whiter accent stitching. There's going to be a look at the glove box. Of course, it is going to be damped. Unfortunately, no LED lighting, and a little bit on the smaller side of things, but usable to say nonetheless. You can see your owner's manual in there. There's going to be a 12-volt outlet that I may have missed on the passenger side of the vehicle. And yeah, that is basically going to be a look here at the interior of the Nissan Frontier. Let's go ahead and pop the hood, see what powers this particular vehicle before wrapping this video up. So under the hood of every Frontier, you're going to find one of the outliers in the midsize truck space, and that is a 3.8 liter naturally aspirated V6 paired to a 9-speed torque converted automatic transmission. Now this engine puts out 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque, which is definitely very competitive in the horsepower race, but maybe not so much in the torque side of things because of a lot of the other trucks going to turbocharged 4 cylinders or even turbocharged 6 cylinders. Now in terms of fuel economy, get 17 city, 21 highway, and I think about 19 MPG combined. Now you guys have to wait till my full driving review to get my actual real world MPG results, but I will say those are not too far off of what I'm observing currently with this particular truck. And in terms of towing capacity with the Frontier, the maximum towing in select short bed configurations is going to be just over 7,100 pounds of towing capacity. Now in terms of this one with the long bed, the SL 4x4 variant, I believe it's right around that 6,700 to 6,800 pound towing capacity. So still very, class competitive and very capable mid-size truck. But as you noted, there's no trailer brake controller, so you will have to add that. So let's go do it here for this quick walk around tour of this 2025 Nissan Frontier SL 4x4 long bed configuration. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and or found something helpful. If you did, make sure to hit that like button below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to stay tuned for the additional videos I will, of course, coming out over the next couple days on this truck. I certainly have a lot of thoughts and opinions on it, both a little bit positive and quite a few negative, unfortunately. But I will say it comes in at a slightly cheaper price tag than that of most other comparably equipped midsize trucks. So that is a positive aspect. $47,000 to $48,000 as seen here. They do charge about $500 for the long bed versus the short bed. So if you want to save about $500, you can go ahead and choose that. But I like a lot of the updates that they made for 2025, despite not having a huge amount of experience with the earlier model years of the truck. And the naturally aspirated V6 underneath the hood is certainly going to be a differentiating factor that I know people out there will take into consideration when purchasing their next vehicle. So as a whole, I think it's competitive, has a lot of nice features. I like the audio system. I like the infotainment system, very quick to react. But I will say the seats themselves are not particularly comfortable, especially when you have back problems and or spinal fusion like I do. So again, I will be mentioning that in a little bit more detail here in some of my upcoming content. But nonetheless, like I said, hit that like button if you guys enjoyed or found this video helpful. Huge thanks to Nissan for sending this Frontier out for me to test and review. And as always, you guys for watching. So with all that being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.